Am I the asshole for disinviting a coworker for perpetually spoiling things? Almost every Friday, my coworkers and I go out to get drinks and socialize, probably for about $500. More often than not, it's an open invitation for the entire office, and even people outside of our team will join. We typically have a great time, but only when Logan, 20s, male, doesn't show. Logan means well, but is easily excitable and engages people in conversations they're not interested in. The worst of his behavior happens to do with spoiling movies, shows, games, etc. A few weeks ago, I mentioned that I had tickets to see the new Mortal Kombat movie over the weekend. Logan lit up and immediately responded, "You'll love the scene where spoiler happens and when spoiler shows up." I was bummed and walked away without continuing the conversation. Later that night, another coworker, when discussing a TV show that had episodes, she was a few episodes behind in, Logan blurts out, "I can't believe that beloved character dies in episode whatever number." Amy, who had obviously not watched it yet, went silent and turned away. Logan laughed and said, "I just can't help it. I get too excited." None of us were amused. A few days later, in our team-only group chat, someone brought up Logan's tendency to spoil things and admitted that they wish he weren't invited to things because of it. Multiple people agreed and began to list everything Logan had spoiled for them. With this in mind, I didn't add Logan to the email.
This guy wakes up every morning to chooses violence.
He chooses spoilers. So yeah, they don't invite him to anything. He noticed he never got an invite and began to ask around. As I was the one who wrote the email, he eventually directed it to me. It keeps going on and on, but I mean, you get the point. He pulled me aside. As I left for lunch, let me know I excluded him by mistake. Rather than try to play it off, I told him the truth. Logan was immediately defensive, claiming it's not his fault. How about this? I told him that if he swore he'd be more conscious about this habit, he could join us Friday. He came, and lo and behold, he spoiled the plot of another movie I wanted to say. I love this guy. Out of frustration, I called him a dick and told him, I'm so happy I read the second slide here. Out of frustration, I called him a dick and told him that this is exactly why no one socializes with him. He left soon, and even though what I said was rude, everyone was thinking it. I felt like an asshole. Edit part 1. A few weeks ago, we had lunch catered, and everyone joined in the break room. A coworker had brought a book to read. Logan saw the cover, pulled up the Wikipedia, and read the entire synopsis aloud, including a big twist ending. I asked him why would he do that, and he responded, "Why not?" Edit number 2. The book was Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. Okay. I started out on this guy's side, and now, I don't know. You can't be...
Bro, I don't know if you can spoil Gone Girl.
You know what you can't spoil? Mortal Kombat. We know, the point was probably you're going to love the part when Scorpion shows up and kills Sub-Zero. That's fucking Mortal Kombat, man. It's like, that's the fucking, the characters already. You know what happens. We've been, staunchly anti-spoiler culture where it's like my thing has always been I do not cater my conversations, my discussion, my social life to your schedule. You haven't seen the episode yet? Fucking sorry, man. That's usually when we're talking about social media and stuff. If someone says to me, "Oh, I haven't seen it yet," I'm not going to just power through and say it. That's insanity.
We're talking about live tweeting Mayor of Easttown, basically.
Yeah.
That's what we get defensive about.
We talked about The Dozen. It was like, can you live tweet the episodes of The Dozen? And it's like, because fucking watch it, and if not, you stay off Twitter. That's your problem. You can't watch the show when it airs.
If you are a person who's like, I'm only on episode 2 of Mayor of Easttown.
Let me tell you about 3.
I'm like, can I tell you about 4 real quick? No! I wouldn't do that.
If someone says, I'm reading... Gone Girl, I agree, is silly. But it's like, I'm reading the book.
That was a massive motion picture that is on TBS every single Sunday.
If you tell me I'm reading XYZ book and I'm just like, did you know she dies in the end? Wikipedia said... that is excessive. That guy, you know what also? This guy sucks in other ways. So... beyond spoilers, the guy who's like, I can't help it, I just get too excited. If you're that way about ruining TV shows for people, you probably suck in many more ways too.
Yeah,
But it's so bad. I am kind of back on his side again, where I'm like, just keep going, spoil everything.
Logan's got a thing. It's just ruining everyone's day.
You know what he needs to do next? You know what he needs to do next? He's got to spoil baby genders. He's got to find a coworker and be like, it's a girl. I'm sorry. I thought you wanted to know.
Break into,
Oh, it'd be great.
break into her doctor's office. Like, I got to keep this bit going.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Logan. They know when Logan's coming. So is bad news.
Imagine. Oh, I would love. See, part of me almost wants to have that reputation. Be like, I got your biopsy results. It's cancer. I'm so excited. We've said many times before, having news is always exciting. Being the guy to break the news, even if it's bad, you feel that power over someone.
Dude, the fucking
R.I.P. Tony Stark.
The looking up of the I can't decide which is worse. The one I think it's just being like, I mean, the Wikipedia one is obviously
No, the Wikipedia one's crazy.
Insane.
But the Friday party after being told you spoil another movie, that's lunacy. Also, what do these people only talk about fucking movies and TV shows? Like, Jesus Christ. That's great,
seen
though.
all that shit.
Yeah, this guy, I want to hang out with him. This guy, I kind of like Logan. I kind of want to hang out with Logan and try to spoil things for me.
Would very much enjoy talking to Logan, probably once.
Yeah, one time
But
only.
I just gotta see it in action.
This is like a episode of a television show. We gotta write this down and flesh this out into like a pilot. The guy who only spoils things.
It is
He's the greatest spoiler of all time. All he does is spoil. Imagine. Logan the spoiler.
Logan spends his entire Monday through Thursday evening watching every movie. Just hoping.
Not for the entertainment. Just hope to run into conversation,
Hoping at some point on Friday night they'll bring it up.
I honestly think he might be orchestrating this because we're like, how could they possibly be talking about it? I bet you he walks in and he's like, have you seen Mortal Kombat? Plants the seed.
Yeah.
They start talking about it. He comes back around. He dies in the end. I mean, it's almost impossible to have
very
this many opportunities.
subliminally lets them know.
Yeah.
Just like he plans it all throughout the week at work.
Yes.
Where he just kind of like.
Have you seen Justin Willem? You know that magician we've had on the show? He does
Yeah.
magic. Where he does that thing where when you see the outtakes, he subliminally is mentioning. I don't know if it's real or not. So you haven't seen
I
this.
haven't seen it. No.
So he says, like, think of an actor. It's Tom Hanks. And they're like, oh my God, it was. And then they show the outtakes, and they have like a 10-minute conversation where he's like, yeah, I'm from Philly. I'm from Philadelphia. I grew up a little bit of a castaway, but but then, I went, but then I was a big fish in a small pond. And he says all of these fucking titles of Tom Hanks movies. And he'll tell you that it triggers you to think Tom Hanks. What I think happens is you say think of an actor, and like 9 times out of 10 you're gonna say Tom Hanks, and you just cut out the ones that didn't say it, and then you have a conversation where you subliminally drop all his titles. But maybe that's what fucking Logan does here. He just spends all week talking about Gone Girl and all this shit, all the things he can spoil, and then he's like, now's my time. My master plan has come together at happy hour where I ruin lives.
That would be. It's almost the story of someone who grew up with the kind of brain that would birth an evil villain.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's a supervillain,
and he's
using his powers for like good.
He's just like not very successful.
That's almost the skit. That's like the opposite of the Rock skit on SNL, where like all the evil villains are doing like relatively harmless things.
I haven't seen this one.
Yes, you have. Remember when The Rock plays like the evil?
Oh,
and he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like I killed children with a laser beam.
Yes.
They're like, we
yes.
shrink we shrink the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, well, I went a different way with it. Yeah, exactly.
He's the other guy. He's like, I'm just here to spoil your day a little bit.
Right.
That's great. The most mundane evil villain of all time, Logan. What's your superpower? I spoil shows. I love it.
I just know on Monday morning to start putting it into your head that we're gonna watch Mortal Kombat at some point this week. I'm gonna tell you about it.
I will say, because part of the game here, when you play Am I the Asshole, one of the things of the game is like you decide who and what and how much is the asshole. I will also say the guy who complains about getting Mortal Kombat spoiled for you is an asshole.
Yeah.
Because even, like I said, you basically know the plot, but even if someone just walked right to my face and spoiled that before I watched it, I'd be like, well, that's okay. It's just Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. And
I'll watch it anyway for the blood and the violence.
I'm watching it for the blood and violence.
Right.
I'm not watching
and
it
the
for the twist
nostalgia.
ending.
Yeah,
Sure.
I wasn't watching it for the plot. 96% of you motherfuckers watch these videos and aren't subscribed. Shout out to the 4%. You are good people. 4% of people are watching our clips.
That's about what I would guess the breakdown of
good people versus bad people
demographics in the world.
Yeah.
Good people versus bad people. Probably about 96% to 4.
That's
but
fair.
Be a good person.
But it's not even. I'm not even asking you to be a good person. I'm asking you to push a button.
Yeah,
I'm asking you to click a button.
Yeah, you can be a bad person still, but just click
You
the
can be
button.
a piece of shit. Just click subscribe. 96% of you watch these clips and they're like, oh my God, that was a funny clip from this podcast. I liked it. And I'm just not going to help them out. The people who work to make it, the people who work to produce it, to post it, to upload it, and there's nothing from you. You're a bad person if you don't subscribe.
Be a good one.